Hey there, welcome to Mad Mel's Mind. Thanks for joining me. My name is Melissa and this is a podcast all about me, about my life with PTSD, about my life with a husband and kids and friends and everything in between. Thanks for tuning in. Hi everybody and welcome to Mad Mel's Mic. This is episode 22. Just quickly, I am still in hospital, but by the time this episode is released, I will be at home. Whoop, whoop. After nearly 8 weeks, she's coming home. Anyway, let's get this show started. And welcome again to episode 22. Every week it just baffles me that I'm putting out these episodes and people are actually listening, and it's quite surreal, really. But this week I wanted to just give you a bit of insight in relation to how the podcast works and what goes on in the background, because I don't do all this by myself. I have some help from a trusty steed, also known as my sister. So I'm just going to give a little shout out to, look, I'm going to say her name anyway, to Emma. And every week I record the episode, I listen to it just to make sure that where it's snipped and stuff like that, that it flows correctly. And then I never listen to it again. So I apologise in advance if I've said something that I've spoken about in a previous episode, because I don't actually listen to it and my brain doesn't function very well at the best of times. So so I record the episode, I listen to it, and then I send it to my sister and she vets it for me. So she goes through it all, makes sure that I'm not saying anything stupid or anything like that. Not that we change the content at all, but she does that for me. But then with the podcast, as you know, when you have a look at the show notes and stuff like that, so Emma writes all of that for me. Once I've recorded, I don't have the capacity to think of words, and sometimes it's even tricky to go, what should I title this episode? And it could be 3 or 4 words, but it just doesn't come out of my brain. So Emma helps me heaps with that. And then once she's listened to it and given the description for the show notes, I'll pop it up onto my host and then go out. So in the spirit of recognising my sister today, I have a song of the week, which reminds me of our childhood, none other than Alanis Morissette. So have a listen.
Swallow it down, what a jagged little pill. It feels so good, swimming in your stomach. Wait until the say yes. You learn, you love, you learn, you cry, you laugh, you lose, you learn, you leave, you scream,
Alanis Morissette, who doesn't love her? Bring back the 90s, hey? She was a keeper. I'm a fan. And now I have it in my head that all I want to do is listen to some Alanis. When I was thinking about my sister and what song I could think of, the first song that came to my mind was Ironic by Alanis Morissette, but I thought the song You Learn would be quite fitting for the podcast, because where she says you cry, you learn, everything that happens in your life on a day-to-day basis, you're learning from it. And I hope that when people listen to this podcast, that they also can take away from my lived experience and learn something for themselves. So this was just a little tribute to my sister. So thank you, Emma, for everything that you do. I really do appreciate it. This week has been a pretty uneventful week, actually. I've still off all my antidepressants, and I won't go on anything until I see the neurologist in a month's time. So it's going to be a good little test because I go home tomorrow, which I know if you're listening to this not at the same time, it's I go home on the 4th. So it's Mackenzie's birthday, so I'll get home and see her in the afternoon, so that and watch her play basketball and watch all the kids play basketball actually. So it'll be nice to get home. It's been 7.5 weeks and I know that I certainly needed it. It's not how I planned the stay to go, but most things in this life are out of our control, and getting back to the Mel Robbins, I'm just going to let them and not get worked up about anything. And I'm not worked up about it. Look, it is what it is. I didn't get to finish my course of TMS because of the paresthesia. I just learnt that word. Can't spell it, but that's just like the tingling stuff over my body. It is improving, but it is still there slightly. So I just didn't want to put any more pressure on my brain until I see the neuro. So like I said, it'll be a good little test to see how I go for the month being back in the real world without any antidepressants. But it's been quite refreshing, for want of a better word, because for the past 2 years I've just been numb and just numb. I just can't, it's hard to articulate, but like I remember saying to my husband months ago, saying like, I just want to cry. And he goes, well, cry. And I've said, I can't, like I just can't physically cry. And it's a pain because like you know that you should be feeling some type of emotion for certain situations and things like that. I just had a really good mate's mum pass away suddenly before I came down, and she's just sobbing in my arms, and like I was upset for her, but I couldn't show any emotion, and it just makes me feel heartless. And like I remember saying, I know this is a really bad word, like somebody would go, oh, this will make you cry, and I'll go, no, I'm a heartless cunt, like I don't cry. So what I've noticed in the last couple of weeks without being on any of those antidepressants is that I've been able to feel emotion again, whether that be happy, like I've been happy, but that sad emotion. And like even I'm reading, so I read every night, and I'm reading the Sarah J. Maas Throne of Glass series, and I'm on the last book, and I think there's about 8 books. I can't actually remember. It's a commitment anyway. And there was just this one happy scene in it, and I started tearing up going, oh my gosh, like this is so refreshing to be able to feel this kind of emotion and this rawness, and go, okay, let's embrace this. And the day I had started the new antidepressants and I stopped them the day after, Mel, my bestie, called me and she literally just said, how are you? And I just burst into tears. And the first thing she said to me, it wasn't, are you okay? What's wrong? She goes, oh my gosh, I am so proud of you. You're crying. And I've just gone, it was such a nice feeling. And just to be able to feel that rawness of life again. So it will be a good little test of let all my support networks know that I'm not going to be on any antidepressants. So not to keep an eye on me, but to keep an eye on me. But I do find I have pretty good self-awareness in terms of my depression and my anxiety and stuff like that. And I've learned over the last 4 years on this journey that it's okay to be depressed. It's okay to feel anxiety, but it's what you do with those things that changes the future. So look, going back to the Mel Robbins thing as well, like just using that countdown strategy of if I'm feeling flat and can't be bothered doing anything, well then it's just like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it. So I'll certainly put all those practices into place and work out a good little strategy for me. I've actually been swimming a fair bit, well, at least once a week while I've been here, sometimes twice. And that's something it's so good for my head, even better for my body, because My body's a little bit broken. It's almost like I've hit 40 and it's like, fuck this, Melissa, you're not doing this shit anymore. But yeah, so I want to get back in the pool when I get home and just try and keep myself motivated that way. And I'm really looking forward to catching up with, obviously, the husband and kids, and but getting back into that social network as well. Get back to pickleball and hang out with my mates and go for a walk and those bits and pieces. And but making sure I've got the right mindset, that I'm not doing it for the sake of doing it. I'm doing it for my head. And look, if um, the another part of that comes out and I become a little bit fitter, well, then that's a good byproduct. But that's not the intention, because I've been in that lifestyle where I was constantly chasing stats, like, have you swum enough, Melissa? Have you walked fast enough? Have you run far enough? And so I'm very, very mindful of not getting myself back into that routine. And I used to be on Strava and map everything, and I'd be chasing like goals and loop speeds and segment speeds and stuff like that. And for those who know Strava, I have no doubt that you'll know what I'm talking about. But you're subconsciously competing with people that you've never met before, because they might have run that 100-meter segment faster than you. And then so for me, it's like, well, fuck, this is now a competition with nobody but myself, and it doesn't help anybody, including myself. So it's just about finding that balance, I guess. Look, this week has been pretty boring. I've actually gotten myself into art. When I come down here, I always do paint by numbers, but I've sort of ventured out this time, and am doing freehand art. So I might pop some up on my socials. And talking about socials, Mad Mel's mic is now officially on TikTok. It's officially on TikTok. There's no videos on there yet, but I will get there. The first step is to do it, and the second step will be putting a reel together. I don't even know what I'm going to do, but anyway, it was just a thought that I had. I'm hoping that when I get home as well, my sleep falls back into a better pattern, because since I started those antidepressants, and I was only on them for a day and a half, sleep has eluded me. So, and we all know how important sleep is, and just for our mental health as well. So I'm just drained, and hopefully being in my own bed and next to the husband who snores, but with Betty the dog, yeah, be nice to get back into a good routine at home. And it'd be nice to be able to share the little moments with the kids and stuff, because they have certainly missed out on a lot with my inpatient stays, and it's been hard. It's hard on all of us. It's hard on my husband. And I remember my young fella, was it last week? Oh, maybe the week before. Anyway, I can't remember. Like, days just roll into the next, really. Anyway, so Cliff was going on a school excursion down to the snow, and he had to have this list of things like that. And I remember my husband calling, like, I need to get gloves, I need to get goggles. Like, this is like, I need help. Like, this, you do all this stuff, and I don't know what to do. And he was just like, I could almost feel like he was a bit panicked, but it was selfishly, it was really nice to go, I am needed. Like, even in my bad states, I still, sorry about that, nurse just popped in and was doing rounds. I've lost my train of thought now. It's funny, because when I first started the podcast, I'd have like little dot points about what I wanted to talk about and things like that. And now it's like, we'll just make all this shit up as we go. And look, it seems to be working. I hope so. If anybody has any feedback for me, please let me know. So yeah, but I was going back to the husband, and it was really refreshing and made me feel nice when he goes like, we do need you. And even when I have very little capacity, I know that I can still support them emotionally, and bits and pieces like that. So it was very nice to go, we really do need you, not just to clean the house because I don't clean, I tidy. But yeah, I went home last week and surprised the kids. My husband knew I was coming. I had a mate, Matt, dickhead Matt. He was heading out our way to watch his son play footy. So I said, "Oh, just drop me off at home." So I surprised the kids, and it was beautiful. Like, it just made my heart sing with their excitement when I got home, and then it became hard because they then realised that I wasn't staying and that I was just visiting, and then they were really disappointed. So it was a bittersweet, um, knowing that I had made their day by turning up, but then made them disappointed by realising that I wasn't going to be staying. So, look, it's the nature of the beast. And if I come back again and I do go home, I will make sure that I let them know that I'm just coming to visit and then I won't be staying. So, I think, look, I know we do, as humans, do a lot of things and make a lot of mistakes, but I think if we can recognize the mistakes that we make and learn from them, then they become valuable. So, look, this episode has been a whirlwind of a tangent. I apologize if it doesn't make any sense at all. So I am going to finish with the thought of the week. So, in the spirit of my sister, I'm going to say this funny one first, and then I'll give something with a little bit more meaning. But I am the younger sister. I have an older brother and an older sister, and my brother is 6 years older than me, and Emma is 5 years older than me. So obviously, mum and dad stopped when the best came along. But this just epitomizes Emma and I and our relationship. So it says, if you mess with the big sister, there is always a younger, crazier sister behind her. That's who you don't want to mess with. So, warning to everybody, don't mess with her because I've got her back. And to finish on a bit of a softer note, sisters, we'll always love you tomorrow, no matter what you did today, which is so true because I'll tell you what, I did a lot of shit to her growing up, but that's the relationship of sisters. Thanks for listening. Have a good week. Please share away. The more people who can listen, the better. And please be kind to yourself. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in to Mad Mel's Mic. I'm Melissa Smith, and I hope you've enjoyed listening. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, and don't forget to like and follow. Have a great week, and don't forget to be kind to yourself.